What happens when a championship contender hits the pause button and suddenly every team in the league starts circling like sharks? The emotion here is pure, calculated intrigue. Because the Boston Celtics, reeling from Jason Tatum's devastating Achilles tear, have transformed from predators into opportunists. And now, the Milwaukee Bucks are reportedly eyeing Anfernee Simons in a trade that could define both franchises' seasons. But here's the million-dollar question. Is swapping Kyle Kuzma for Simons the shrewd move Milwaukee needs, or just another desperate swing from a team watching the Eastern Conference slip through their fingers? Let's dive deep into this potential blockbuster and dissect whether the Celtics are about to pull off another masterclass in asset management, or if the Bucks are walking into a trap. The Celtics' strategic pivot. Pain turned into profit. When Tatum went down with that gruesome Achilles injury, Boston's front office didn't panic. They adapted. Brad Stevens and company immediately recognized that this season wasn't going to be their championship window. Instead of stubbornly clinging to contention, they made the cold, calculated decision to treat 2024-25 as a financial reset year. The fire sale began swiftly. Kristaps Porzingis shipped out. Drew Holiday, the defensive maestro who helped anchor their title hopes, dealt to Portland in exchange for Anfernee Simons. These weren't moves born from desperation. They were surgical strikes designed to shed salary, duck under the luxury tax aprons, and position Boston for a monster run in 2025-26 when Tatum returns. But here's where it gets fascinating. Simons was never meant to be the final piece. He's a placeholder, an expiring contract worth $25.9 million that Boston can either let walk in free agency or, more likely, flip for assets that actually fit their championship timeline. The Celtics aren't interested in paying Simons big money next summer when they'll need every dollar to build around Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Translation: Simons is trade bait, pure and simple. And Milwaukee knows it. The Bucks' dilemma: contend now or accept mediocrity. Let's be brutally honest about Milwaukee's situation. They're stuck in basketball purgatory. Giannis Antetokounmpo is still an otherworldly force. Damian Lillard provides elite shot creation, but the supporting cast? Wildly inconsistent. Kyle Kuzma, acquired with hopes he'd provide versatile scoring and championship experience, has been exactly what critics feared: streaky, defensively questionable, and frustratingly inefficient. The Bucks are currently hovering around .500, watching the Detroit Pistons, Toronto Raptors, and Miami Heat. Yes, you read that correctly, lead the Eastern Conference. With Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton sidelined for the year, the East is wide open. This is Milwaukee's window. This is their moment to capitalize on chaos. Enter Anfernee Simons. The 26-year-old guard represents everything the Bucks desperately need. Youth, elite three-point shooting, career 38.1% from deep, and the ability to create his own shot. Just last season, Simons averaged 19.3 points per game for Portland, showcasing the scoring punch that could complement Giannis and Dame perfectly. While his numbers are down this year in Boston's crowded rotation, recent performances suggest he's finding his rhythm again. Here's the proposed framework. Milwaukee receives. Anfernee Simons, Boston receives. Kyle Kuzma, 2026 second-round pick via Utah, protected 31-55. On paper, it's simple. In reality, it's loaded with risk and reward for both sides. Breaking down the trade: winners, losers, and hidden angles for the Bucks. The upside: Simons gives Milwaukee exactly what they lack: a legitimate third scoring option who can space the floor. Giannis thrives when surrounded by shooters, and Simons' ability to drain contested threes would open driving lanes for the Greek Freak. Defensively, Simons isn't a liability like Kuzma often is. He's not elite, but he's engaged and coachable. The age factor matters, too. At 26, Simons fits Milwaukee's timeline better than the 30-year-old Kuzma. If the Bucks fall in love with his game, they could offer him a long-term deal this summer without worrying about immediate decline. If not, he walks in free agency, and Milwaukee didn't surrender meaningful draft capital to acquire him. The financial element is crucial. Simons' $25.9 million expiring contract gives the Bucks flexibility. They're not locked into anything beyond this season unless they choose to be. For the Celtics, the pragmatic play Boston saves $5.3 million immediately by swapping Simons for Kuzma, dropping them below the first luxury tax apron. That's significant when you're planning for a massive financial commitment next summer. Kuzma, despite his flaws, is under contract through 2025 to 26 at a reasonable $23.5 million. He's a proven veteran with championship experience, 2020 Lakers, who can contribute immediately. Here's the twist nobody's talking about. With Tatum out, Boston's scoring is anemic. Kuzma, for all his maddening inconsistencies, can get buckets. He's averaged 20-plus points per game in 2 different seasons and has 417 career starts. He knows how to operate in big moments. While the Celtics aren't chasing a title this year, they still need to remain competitive, develop young players, and maintain organizational standards. Kuzma provides that veteran presence without Boston committing long-term dollars to a player who doesn't fit their championship window. The hidden risks nobody's discussing for Milwaukee. What if Simons doesn't mesh with Lillard? Both guards need the ball in their hands to maximize effectiveness. Dame is ball dominant by necessity. Simons thrived in Portland as a primary initiator. Can he accept a reduced role? Will his efficiency crater playing off-ball more frequently? There's also the looming free agency question. If Simons balls out and demands $25+ million annually this summer, are the Bucks prepared to pay him? Their financial flexibility is already limited. Adding another max-level contract could hamstring future roster construction. For Boston, Kuzma's shot selection is legitimately concerning. He's a volume scorer who can go ice-cold for weeks, forcing terrible shots and disrupting offensive flow. The Celtics pride themselves on ball movement and high IQ basketball. Kuzma's hero ball tendencies could poison the well, especially among younger players still learning the system. Defensively, Kuzma's effort waxes and wanes. Boston's identity has always been defensive intensity. Can they tolerate a player who takes possessions off? The broader Eastern Conference implications let's zoom out. If Milwaukee lands Simons and he clicks, they instantly become the East favorites. Giannis with elite spacing, Lillard orchestrating, and Simons providing explosive scoring? That's a big 3 capable of overwhelming anyone in a 7-game series. But if the trade flops? If Simons struggles to adapt or demands money Milwaukee can't afford? The Bucks just swapped a flawed but functional veteran for a rental who walks in free agency, leaving them worse off than before. For Boston, this is pure asset optimization. They're not trying to win now, they're positioning for dominance later. Every move is calculated to maximize future flexibility while maintaining respectability this season. Trading Simons for Kuzma and a throwaway second-rounder accomplishes both goals. The verdict: should this trade happen? From Milwaukee's perspective, absolutely pull the trigger. The Eastern Conference is chaos incarnate right now. Tatum's injury opened a championship window nobody anticipated. The Bucks cannot afford to be passive. Simons represents a high-upside gamble that doesn't cost significant draft capital. If he thrives, Milwaukee's a title contender. If not, they let him walk and regroup. From Boston's perspective, it's a no-brainer. They shed salary, gain a veteran who can contribute immediately, and maintain financial flexibility for next summer's crucial offseason. Kuzma's flaws are real, but they're manageable for a team not chasing a championship this year. The wild card? Other teams circling Simons. Boston isn't operating in a vacuum. If a team like the Lakers, Clippers, or even the Knicks offers a better package, say a protected first-rounder instead of a worthless second, the Celtics will pivot instantly. Final thoughts: championship chess or fool's gold? This trade proposal encapsulates everything thrilling about NBA trade season: risk, reward, desperation, and calculated gambles. The Bucks are a team trying to maximize Giannis' prime before it's too late. The Celtics are a franchise playing the long game, sacrificing short-term success for sustained excellence. Anfernee Simons is the fulcrum. His next destination could reshape the Eastern Conference playoff picture. Milwaukee needs him more than Boston does, which gives the Celtics leverage. But leverage only matters if multiple teams are bidding. Right now, the Bucks appear to be the primary suitor. One thing's certain, Brad Stevens didn't acquire Simons to keep him. He's a trade chip, and that chip is about to be cashed in. Whether it's Milwaukee or another contender, Simons will be on the move before the deadline. The only question is, which team will be bold enough to make the call? What do you think? Should the Bucks go all in on Simons, or is this trade a disaster waiting to happen? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to smash that like button if you want more deep dive trade analysis like this. The deadline is approaching fast, and we'll be breaking down every major move as it happens. Stay locked in.